back with more Angel. This is episode 17 of season 5. Very excited as always to continue on. Well, I say excited as always. I haven't been excited for the past couple of episodes, really, have I? But yes, we are diving back in, getting so close to the end now. It's feeling very, very real that Buffyverse is wrapping up. End of an era, you know, it's like 3 years, you know, nearly 4, I think, at this point that we've been going on this crazy ride. You know, we're coming up to a year since I finished Buffy and everything. It's just mental. But yeah. I don't want to cry again. I hope it's not a cry one. You know, we had the episode. We had the Aftermath episode. But they set up some more plot lines, I think, to explore for the rest of this season now. So I'm hoping that maybe, you know, it's less the emotional fallout and impact of losing Fred. And, you know, I'm happy to get a plot episode or two, just, you know, as a little, you know, mental health saver, ideally, because the last 2 episodes were rough. And I will take the chance again to thank everyone for incredibly kind comments and messages and stuff that I've received for the last 2 episodes. People being very concerned for my health, which is fair because my health was shot. Because yeah, that was a time, my friends. That was, but you know, I'm feeling better going into this. I think it did help, kind of taking a bit of time, you know, in between 15 and 16 in particular, and now coming to this fresh. I'm excited about certain plot threads. You know, it's not still having Fred around, which I would prefer, but I think they did enough with Illyria in the last episode and set up an interesting enough story potential with her, especially still pairing her with Wesley in a way, to get me keen to see what is going to happen there. You know, if they have the rudeness to kill my favourite character off, you know, I hope they at least have a good story in mind for, you know, doing it, which I think they have the groundwork for. So I am intrigued to see where that's going to go. Gunn's going through it. I think he's kind of left Wolfman Heart now. I think he had to resign, maybe. So maybe we'll explore some of that, or maybe he's just going to be away for a bit. I'm sure we'll see him again, especially because there's only 5 episodes left. Or was it 6? 6 episodes left of the show now. But yeah, damn. I don't really know what else to say, really. So, yeah, I am, against all the odds, excited to see what's going to happen in this episode. So, yeah, let's get into it.
My first official parlay is a very loosely affiliated member of the... What are we? Tell me we're not Scoobies. We don't have a name.
It's adorable that he brought a briefcase.
Angels Avengers or something.
Angels Avengers, that's...
So,
I quite like it.
Agenda?
Handsome man saved me from the monsters.
Exactly. Well,
Please stop.
what's that now?
That's the first thing Fred said to me. Should never have let her come here. Bad things always happen here.
Hate to break it to you, mate, but bad things always happen everywhere. Besides,
Especially Buffyverse. That's what fan fiction's for.
might be easier if we knew anyone who had a direct line to the big guys.
No way.
Oh,
Even if my
Christ.
connection to the senior partners wasn't completely
Okay, maybe I
severed,
don't want a plot
I'm done
episode.
helping you.
This...
You bastard! You told them.
Just collecting the Firefly crew. Okay.
You're my lady!
Not if you keep singing like that.
I think I'm tired. I think I'm sick and tired of wearing bells on my toes and making like everything's gonna be okay. I think it's pathetic that I think I'm too scared and sad to tell people the truth. I started drinking the moment that I found out that a girl I loved was gonna die. Every time I get to with a smile and a quip, go back into the belly of a very ugly beast and pretend like I can help. Because that's what the green guy does.
Oh, buddy.
Just not sure. Gun. You paid a high price for what's in that brain. So use it.
suppose.
I know you feel bad about your part in what happened to Fred. And you should. For the rest of your life, it should wake you up in the middle of the night.
Oh, well.
And it will.
Hmm.
Because you're a good man.
That's true.
The thing about atonement is, you never run out of chances. But you gotta take them. You can't hide in some hospital room, pretend it's all gonna go away.
What is this?
This is only the first layer.
Oh, God.
You've been sitting for a long time.
This world must be a terrible disappointment to you.
Grievous.
I'm not too impressed with it myself.
No, neither am I.
I'm gonna die.
You make it hard for me when I help you.
I only know what they want me to know. And only when they want me to know it.
You don't know anything.
Maybe.
They don't know that we
Maybe
know.
I
They know we
what,
know.
But I don't have access to it. Oh, it's locked in my head somewhere and I don't have the key.
Gonna have to smash it open.
He may know more about you than, well, than you do.
Which is why they snatched him up.
Yeah, they couldn't risk him and you having a sit down.
And now, what he's going through.
Are we breaking Lindsay out?
Lindsay is in some hideous, awful hell.
Oh. Yep. Hellish, look at that. For a moment I wondered if that was Darla, but I think that's probably the intent. Is this Desperate Housewives?
Upside down hell.
I don't care if he's in toy poodles. I'm
Stranger Things?
that I can get us in.
Ooh.
Us. Okay.
He wants redemption.
Daggercore.
And under that,
Daggercore.
The layers and layers of Wolfman Heart.
Underneath that,
Now layers of the earth.
I need a bulb from the cellar.
should be some in the hall closet.
Just regular ones. Little ones are downstairs.
Oh,
Zach was getting ready to fill me in on a lithosphere.
this is the bit he doesn't like. What a surprise, the spookiest part of a house is spooky.
Is this weirding you out?
Oh God.
Never heard of Knight Rider?
Is this where Elon got his ideas?
2000? Kit? Never mind.
Cars built to get us there. Once we have Lindsay, it's
Good old Knight Rider.
Opaline towers as high as small moons. Glaciers that rippled with insensate lust. And one world with nothing but shrimp.
I was literally just about to say shrimp.
Leave that one quickly.
Then why stay in this one?
Oh,
Surely
oh,
there's
Anya.
a world more. Why don't you go?
It's too small. It's too small. I can't breathe. I live with these walls. I can't breathe.
It's Wolfman Hart. Odds are there's something ugly behind that door.
Can I help you?
Lindsay, this whole life is a lie. Alright. This is starting to get a little less funny. I think you guys should leave.
What is taking so long? They should be back by now.
This place is a fortress.
Uh-oh.
This thing coming after you? How bad on a scale of, say, 1 to Terminator?
The man they call Jane. Oh boy.
Put your hands up! I can't believe I'm saying this,
Oh.
but we're here to help. Maybe this will help you make up your mind.
Oh.
Angel.
Well. Ugh. If you wanted to redecorate, you should have just said so. Oh my God. Take that, child. Aw, Harmony. Oh.
Hot. Those are these.
His?
What?
Oh, they like rip out your heart every day. Well, Lindsay's got a lot of heart after all. Wolfram hearts, am I right?
Gun, Garland.
Oh. Oh my.
What the hell are you doing?
What needs to be done?
I'm not leaving you here.
If one leaves, one has to stay. A void is impossible.
Oh. Did he come here with the intention of staying to like punish himself?
You know.
Think about atonement.
Oh.
When I forget, the door closes. Go. You have to.
Oh, so he forgets what he... Oh, God.
He stayed behind.
Stayed behind. But you never leave a... Or, I guess we do. That's what we do now.
Oh, God.
Sign here. Good girl.
What the hell's going on?
Oh, sorry for the intrusion. I'm Marcus Hamilton, your new liaison to the senior partners. And here, your wife,
Oh.
along with her immortality and certain other privileges, Eve has signed over her duties to me. I'm looking forward to working myself into the mix. Angel? Spike? Welcome to the team.
That's not where I thought that was going.
Not so bad.
I'm trapped on a roof. Just one roof. In this time and this place with an unstable human who drinks too much whiskey and called me a smurf. You don't worship me at all, do you?
He used to.
And you really can't leave.
Reek of humanity.
Don't flatter yourself.
Turns out they can only undo you as far as you think you deserve to be undone. I wonder how Gunn's gonna make out. Senior partners, I want to know everything you know about them. Hell's on Earth. Holland Manor tried to sell me that line 3 years ago. Care to prove them wrong? It's been here all along, underneath. You're just too damn stupid to see it. See what? The apocalypse, man.
From beneath you it
We're
devours.
soaking in it. Everything we do, it's a distraction. Keep us busy from looking under the surface.
Oh.
Ding. We got a winner. War's here, Angel. And you're already 2 soldiers down.
I need a bulb from the cellar.
Should be some in the hall closet.
Just regular ones. Little ones are downstairs. I kind of need it now.
What a mess. Okay, a decent episode overall. Where do we begin? Let's talk about Wesley and Illyria, because they felt very, very separate from everything else going on. I was hoping for a bit more from that. I mean, I'm not going to be like too critical yet, because we have another 5 episodes where I'm sure they'll explore that a bit more. I don't know, it's just... I don't know what I wanted from it, but it just felt like a lot of it was ground they already covered in the last one, if that makes sense. It felt like, yeah, they've been talking about things that I feel like they'd already sort of discussed in a way. I liked the kind of idea of like the limitations of, you know, her abilities now, and the fact that she can't just maybe leave and go somewhere else, and her suggesting why Wesley can't just go somewhere else as well. You know, she clearly doesn't have a grip or understanding of humanity at all. In a similar vein to Anya, I guess, on Buffy, except Illyria never knew what it was like to be human before, and it's not like she's learning it again, she's learning it for the first time, so she's probably even more clueless on how to kind of cope and deal with everything, especially when she used to be like this all-powerful god that people worshipped, and suddenly that's all gone. And she feels very restricted by the walls and the body. So I liked that idea, and excellent line. She was like, "Oh, I stink of humanity" or something, and Wesley's just savage as hell, being like, "Don't flatter yourself." That was a great line. So yeah, there's clearly no love lost between them quite yet. That's for sure. and I'm sure that will probably just be the case, given, you know, how this bizarre dynamic started. But yeah, I feel like I was just hoping for a bit more. I thought that was going to be the stuff I leaned more into in this episode, because I was quite intrigued by that. But I was actually a lot more interested in everything going on with Angel and Spike and Gunn and Lindsay and Lorne and everything, which I wasn't expecting. So maybe that's also why. But I don't know. I'm hoping, I don't know, there's more meat to the bone, I guess, at some point with that story. Instead of just Illyria moping about like she did in the last 10 minutes of the last episode. I don't know. Maybe I just need to wait for the slow burn of the story to pay off a bit more. But I don't know. For me, it felt a bit meandering in this one. But there were some good ideas thrown in there, so I still think there's a lot of potential to grow. And, you know, I think I do like how it plays into the idea of, you know, everyone in this episode, it was kind of about accepting the world as it is, whether or not you should actively try and change that. Illyria was kind of accepting the world as it is now. Wesley is as well, without Fred around. And, you know, him kind of agreeing with her that he's not too impressed with the planet either, because of everything it's kind of done to him and taken from him. So I do like how the stories did link together, so it made sense that they would be running alongside each other in this episode. And that tying into like the wider ramifications and you know, the idea of different layers to things I quite liked. They, you know, very much the metaphor when they were talking about layers of the earth in the kind of hell dimension that Lindsay and later Gunn were trapped in that loop of, kind of comparing that to the layers and layers of Wolfram and Hart and the senior partners and their plans that Eve was talking about. And I guess if you kind of picture all the dimensions that Illyria has visited over the years, they're like layers and layers of different things as well, if you visualise it in a certain way. So, you know, there's some common threads kind of tying it all together that I did enjoy. But yeah, I was a bit underwhelmed after I thought a really great setup with Illyria in the last episode. But, you know, I have full faith that, well, not faith, because I'm not sure she's turning up, although it'd be great if she did. But, oh no, I really want Faith to show up, that'd be great. Anyway, getting distracted. I don't know, I feel like I have faith that they will do a bit more with that. And, you know, I think it's kind of the build-up to Illyria kind of finding her groove again in this new form and this new life, and then we're going to see her really fuck shit up, basically. It's just kind of getting to that point. Didn't feel like there was much more new to it in this one, and not much substantial kind of changed. But I guess that's also my head being like, there's only 5 episodes left now. You know, I'd want maybe a bit more development from that. But probably when this was written, they didn't know that they're being cancelled. They thought they'd have a lot more time with it. So, you know, I'm weighing all those things up in my head as well. I'm not trying to kind of be too harsh on it. And I'm also coming from a place where I miss Fred, and I like Fred. So maybe that doesn't help. But I also do just feel like, because I liked the setup, you know, I don't know, this felt a bit, wandering about, meandering, and not doing as much for me as the other stuff did, which is a surprise, but I don't mind being surprised because, you know, everything else was the bulk of the episode at the end of the day. So I would probably rather be more invested in that than a few scenes here and there. But yeah, it's not really a surprise that Wesley's struggling and he's drinking and stuff. Having that weird vision of Fred, I don't know how I felt about that either, to be honest. I don't know. If we just kind of keep seeing Fred in hallucinations and stuff, like every episode, I feel like it just removes some of the impact of her leaving and dying in the first place. It's like, well, we're still seeing her in a way. But I think, you know, that's just how Wesley's grieving right now. You know, I think it works in a similar vein to when Drusilla tricked Giles into looking at, you know, thinking she was Jenny at the end of Buffy season 2. but it's just of his own accord that he's seeing her like that. I don't know. I get that he's struggling, and we've kind of seen a lot of that, very much so. But yeah, I feel like it's just kind of lessening the impact a bit, maybe, of, you know, just how suddenly Fred's taken from us, but we're still seeing her, you know, we've still seen her in the 2 episodes since she's died. So I don't know. It's a weird thing, because obviously I like seeing Fred, but I don't really like seeing her now that she's dead. If that makes sense. It's just kind of painful. But maybe that's just me. I don't know. I think it's just going to be one of those stories that I can't judge until I see it all play out. Because, you know, it's like, this is almost, I don't know, part 3 in like a 7-8 part kind of arc, I guess, if you count all the episodes remaining from the start of Fred's death to the end. So, you know, it's like we're not even halfway through where they're going with this yet. So it's a bit unfair to just be like, but you know, I think it still needs to kind of have something going for it. I don't know if it quite achieved that for me personally in this episode, but I still enjoyed the scenes, and I still love the physicality that Alira has, especially with like the work around her neck and her eyes. It's like really different. I do like, you can feel like she's still like adjusting and feeling all these bones and organs and stuff. Well, I guess there's no organs left, is there? They all melted away. But you know what I mean. Kind of feeling this new form of hers. And I like she's still kind of finding her feet in her physicality, as well as in, you know, the actual plot of the character. So yeah, I'm hoping we get a bit more from that in future episodes and the rest of the season, because it felt a bit just like we need to have them in this episode for the sake of it, almost, rather than them actually having something substantial to do. I don't know. It would have been fun to see Illyria like join them on the mission and be like, "You want to know what, you know, the world is like for us? Here it is," and that can then still tie into the whole accepting the world as it is story. But it's fine. You know, it's okay. I still enjoyed the scenes because, you know, there's 2 great actors doing what they do best. But yeah, I'm hoping that kind of picks up the pace a bit more. Especially when there's not long left to explore that. But yeah, everything else I did really, really like. I liked Angel and Spike being the only 2 to show up for the board meeting at the start, and everyone's still kind of grieving and going in their own different directions. Lorne being very forlorn. Gunn still being in hospital, Wesley still very much grieving and isolating himself with Illyria. And yeah, Spike with his little briefcase, that was so wholesome. So yeah, I liked that side of things, and them trying to kind of get on with it. And this was kind of the acceptance. I saw someone, I got a few comments, I think, about the last episode, which I really loved the idea of, and I'd like to kind of pick it apart at some point when I rewatch it. But like all the surviving members of the team kind of like were representing the 5 stages of grief, which I thought was a really interesting idea. And now it just feels like there's an acceptance for all of them. They've all kind of entered that stage in this one. But not just Fred's death, acceptance of what is to come, the battles to come with this apocalypse, you know, the apocalypse, not just an apocalypse. And yeah, just accepting the world and tying it back to that really great scene. I think it was that season 2 or 3 when Holland was talking to Angel about like hell is on Earth, you know, it is in the world. There's not much you can do to stop that. You can still fight it. You know, that's very much the key with Angel, I think, is that he's always going to keep fighting anyway. And this idea that it's all part of the senior partner's plans to just, you know, throw all these things at them, allow them to just work right under their noses so they can keep a very good eye on them, while also distracting them from the actual events that are playing out, and that they want more control over than, you know, just having Angel loose in the city would allow them. So I like that. You know, it kind of gives them a sense of intelligence and gravitas. And I don't know if we're ever going to physically see the senior partners, what they actually look like and stuff. They kind of teased it a bit in this one, and even Eve is like, oh, I don't know. So I quite like the mysterious nature to them. I don't know if I ever really want to see what they look like, but I also feel like a big confrontation with them surely has to happen at some point. So we'll see where that goes. But I do like them really, circling back to the whole idea of them just being a wolf from an heart, and the connotations and repercussions of that. That was really interesting. And yeah, them kind of going to Eve for information, and Lindsay being the one who potentially has some of the answers about the senior partners. And I thought that made a lot of sense. I thought it was a very nice, organic way of bringing him back into the story. So I kind of figured we would see more of Lindsay. So the fact that we did is very cool. And yeah, this kind of very Truman Show-esque kind of situation that Lindsay was finding himself in, living a happy life for like an hour or so, then I assume having his heart cut out, tortured and stuff, and then he just has to do it again and again and again. I thought that was quite something, and that kind of self-awareness when the wife asks for the bulb, and you just see Lindsay knows what's coming, and that's kind of the true torture, because you're like, what? It doesn't seem so bad right now. So I liked that. And because you kind of see how horrible and brutal it is, and you see all of the stacks of Lindsay's hearts they just keep there, when Gunn then takes his place, we've already seen what happens. We know what's going to happen to him. It just makes it all the, oh God moment. So yeah, I like how they brought those two back into the story. And Marcus, I believe is his name. We have Alec Baldwin. Is it Alec? No, it's not Alec. Is Alec Baldwin... Which brother is he? He's one of the Baldwin people. Jane from Firefly. It was cool to see him pop up. They kind of slowly but surely collected a lot of the Firefly alumni over the years. Certainly in like the final couple of seasons of the Buffyverse shows. So that was cool to kind of see him pop up, and I'm guessing we're going to get a bit more of him. And he was kind of chasing Eve down just for a little contract. I do like when they subvert your expectations like that. It feels very much like Fear itself, when you think it's going to be this big, all-powerful demon, but it's this tiny little thing that's just easy to kind of squish, because it's kind of like a manifestation of what it actually is like to kind of have fears and stuff at times. So he has all this brute force and stuff to kind of get to his destinations and hunt down the people that he needs to. But his actual business and what he's actually, his actual purpose is just like, sign this contract, please, and he's going to be taking over Eve's role, which I think is interesting. And I really liked the performance. He came across as quite kind of, not quite charming, but just very formal, and just performing all the niceties that he needed to. But you also get the sense like this guy could turn and just kick my ass at any moment, and I quite liked them kind of very much bridging the gap and bridging the line with that. It could go either way at any moment, and they've established this guy clearly is a physical threat, so maybe we shouldn't be crossing him, and now it's another direct line for the senior partners to keep an eye on them all. So much as Illyria's talking about, she feels like she's trapped and she feels the walls kind of closing in on her, the walls are also closing in for Angel and co when it comes to the senior partners. So again, nice parallels linking some of the stories going on that I really enjoy. And I'm excited to see more of Marcus and where that goes and what his dynamic could be with everyone. We've got quite a bit of Eve at this point. She was very overly dramatic about, I'm going to die, they're going to kill me. And it just means like she's mortal now, she's going to have that life. So, more parallels to, I guess, what's going on with Anya, just with a couple of different characters in this as opposed to one. So that's something, I guess. I know I don't particularly care about Eve, so I'm not like, oh no, what a devastating thing to have happened. But yeah, it was a cool way of kind of getting some answers about her and what her whole deal actually was, and bringing Lindsay back into it through their connection. It made a lot of sense, and I am interested in seeing what the long-term plans may be for Lindsay and Eve in the show. Like, are they just joining the team for a bit? Are they going to go off and do their own thing now that they've given answers and stuff? I don't know, because it feels like we've got all the intel that Eve had and that Lindsay had about the senior partners and the big plans and stuff. So what's next for those two? Is he still going to try and get his own back on Angel or something? I don't know. But yeah, I did like everything with those two being brought back into it and some of the answers we were getting with that. So in terms of like a big overall plot building towards like a big apocalypse thing. You know, we got a good kind of bit of development there. And yeah, I enjoyed, you know, getting a few bits and pieces of Harmony. I think she was credited. I think I just saw it as I like looked back at the screen. I think I saw Mercedes get credited in the main titles, which is cool. I mean, I don't think they've removed anyone, so I guess they just added an extra person in. Why not? Hell, go for it. So that's fun. I guess that does mean we're going to be seeing, you know, a lot more of her throughout the end of the show, which I don't mind. I did like her kind of, you know, obeying Angel's rules about not, you know, torturing Eve or anything. And when it came down to it, you know, she tried to put a good fight in against Marcus and like told the others to run and stuff. So, you know, I think there's some development there. She's kind of grown some attachments to people. I guess maybe losing Fred really helped that along. Maybe she wants to, you know, make an effort to get to know more people after the one friend she did try and make is now dead. I don't know. But I liked the few little moments we got with her as well. And Lorne, oh, it's so sad to kind of see that spark in him kind of go out just because of everything that's happened and how the world's beating him down. He's accepted the world as it is, I think, and that's just left him kind of cold and hollow. And, you know, his whole kind of deal was about reading people when they sung and stuff, and we've seen more and more that hasn't worked, per se, at times. Sometimes, you know, outside of his control and stuff, but we've still gotten that. And that clip, you know, the scene earlier on, with when he was reading the other guy in the bar, and he's just like, oh, I'm just telling people what they want to hear, you know, so effing the chat for that potential marriage. But, you know, that was kind of his big thing that he was so passionate about when we first met him, and, you know, he's just going through the motions with that now, to quote an excellent episode of Buffy. So yeah, it's sad to kind of see that. It is development for Lorne, I guess, because it is a big change to his character, but, you know, it's kind of like a de-evolution, is that? Like, you devolved, is that the words? I don't know. It's late, but yeah, it's very sad to see, but I think it's an interesting direction to take Lorne in, as we head into like the final stretch of episodes, because, you know, I think he's gotten more and more corrupted and darkened by this life and just by associating himself with Angel in the group. And, you know, he even made notice like, oh, I'm just going to pretend, you know, go along, put on a smile, tell a joke, pretend like I can actually do anything to help out in the battle. Which makes me think he is going to play a pivotal role in things, and he actually is going to step up and do something pretty badass, which I'm kind of looking forward to. I'm hoping that happens, because Lorne got quite a bit to do in this one. I feel like we saw a lot more of him than we normally do, which I appreciate, because Lorne is fantastic. So I really enjoyed getting, you know, a bunch more for him. It's so rare that he actually gets to go along with Angel on the missions of like the big mission of the episode. You know, it's normally just Angel on his own doing it, or particularly this season it's been Angel and Spike going off doing everything. So the fact that Lorne went along with them and stuff was really great and quite refreshing. I enjoyed what we got of that. So that was great. Loved that. And then Gunn. Damn. I mean, obviously he feels awful for his role in Fred's death. I liked what Angel said to him about, you know, atonement and stuff. Came back to bite him in the arse, granted. But, you know, he was kind of saying, you keep getting given those chances for atonement and redemption. It's just, you know, about taking them, finding the strength to take them, and intentionally inspiring Gunn to be like, you know what, I'm gonna trap myself in the hell dimension. I'll take Lindsay's place. I mean, it's a solution, and I'm sure Gunn's not going to stay there forever. I'm sure they'll find a way to get him out of there. At least I hope so, because that's bloody dark. But yeah, it's almost a twisted way of atonement, I guess, because he's not actually aware that he's atoning for it, because it's kind of like he's forgotten what he's done. So it's almost like, I don't want to say easy because that sounds horrible, because he's getting his heart cut out like every day, but you know, he's not directly kind of dealing with what he did and addressing that. He still made that sacrifice, but now he doesn't remember making it in a way. So that's kind of an interesting thing, and it doesn't feel like the right way of getting atonement, I guess. Maybe that's kind of the point, because I think this is Gunn's first real step towards atonement, and something that he really actually wants to atone for. And then we have people like Angel and Spike, who are kind of the experts at it at this point. kind of passing on that intel, and Gunn's kind of like, it's like Baby's first atonement, and he's trying his best, but maybe this isn't exactly the way to go about it. So I think we're gonna have to deal with that at some point as well. It's awful that he feels like he needs to do that and he needs to be punished for that, and this is how he's going to make up for his role in things. And of course he's going to feel bad, and maybe he should, because there's a part of him that knew someone was going to get hurt, even if he didn't know it was going to be Fred and everything. But he didn't properly know just how things would play out, and I think guilt just eats away at you, doesn't it? And it just becomes this huge monster, a lot worse than you actually think it initially is. And I guess that's kind of the big deal with Angel and Spike and stuff and their characters over the years. But yeah, I like how they kind of set it up with Gunn, like putting his knowledge to use to kind of track down where Lindsay was. He kind of realised what was going on with the necklace, and he kind of made note of that, and then to kind of save the day, get everyone out of there safely and complete the mission, he chooses to stay behind. I thought that wrapped it up as a solution quite nicely during the fight with that weird demony thing. But yeah, it is sad that he's kind of trapped there. Very interested to see what Wesley's reaction to that's going to be when he finds out what Gunn's done. I'd love it if Wesley's like, we should go and save him. So I hope, just when Wesley and Gunn become friends again, they always do something to mess it up, and it's very frustrating. I hope they end the show on good terms at least. So maybe this is like a big first step, and it's going to be like a wake-up call for Wesley, being like, oh wow, he really does feel bad about this. We need to, remind him the world hasn't ended, or at least his hasn't ended. Unless this big apocalypse just kills them all. Who knows? So yeah, again, there's a lot of interesting groundwork, I think, for a lot of the characters, and I'm very, very intrigued to see where that all goes. But yeah, that's kind of everything I think I want to talk about. There's some great kind of themes in there, accepting the world as it is, different layers to things, different connections and plot threads tying some characters and stories together, which I liked. I liked having Eve and Lindsay back into the story and getting some answers about them and what the whole deal is with the senior partners, kind of setting up, I think, the big end game of the season, along with Marcus coming along to really elevate the threat of the senior partners. It makes it feel a lot more immediate that we still have another representative there now who's obviously kind of a big physical imposing threat too. And yeah, what they're doing with Lorne is really sad, but I'm, enjoying that direction. Same kind of goes with Gunn. And yeah, still unsure on the Wesley Valeria stuff after this episode. I'm a bit less enthused about it, because I just feel like they didn't really do much with that new. I just felt a bit, we need an extra 10 minutes in this episode, let's just have them talk about things. But I think maybe in the grand scheme of things, this is going to make a lot more sense to have these discussions and stuff, because it's still kind of establishing a rapport between them, and how they still feel about each other, and the kind of disdain that's there. Even if he's helping her out, it doesn't mean things are absolutely fine between them. So I think it's more so maybe to do with that. But I was hoping for a bit more in the immediate aftermath of them kind of making this deal, because it was all like, yeah, fine, I'll help you, adjust to being on this planet and being almost this human. And then the very next scene we see them in is him being like, you should just leave the planet. And he just wants to get rid of her again. So it's like, well, that's not really helping her adjust to life on here, is it? So it just felt like a bit, where's this story going if they're not committing to it either way? So we'll see where it goes, but I'm more than willing to kind of wait it out, because what other choice do we have, I suppose? So yeah, I was a bit like, yeah, on that side of things, but the rest of the episode I really, really liked. And I'm excited for all of that to be explored, which we shall do so in the next episode. But yeah, that's going to be everything for now. Overall, a good episode. It was fine. But yeah, I'm hoping for the Wesley Illyria stuff to escalate a lot more and capture my attention a bit more, just like the other stuff was kind of doing in this one. So we shall see. But we have 5 episodes of Angel left. What the hell? I think shit's really going to hit the fan. I'm excited. I'm nervous. I'm sad. But yeah, it's going to be quite the wild ride, I think, getting through the last 5. It's so bizarre to think. It's like 105 episodes watched now of Angel. What the hell? But yeah, good episode overall. I look forward to seeing where all these different things are taken next. And until my next reaction, thanks for watching.